Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Pyre Community RITE Night, and, well, it has been a while. Between, what was it, like 2, possibly even 3 relatively major holidays, all happening on the usual day when we would have RITE Night, followed by, most recently, me being out of town this past week. It has been an extremely long time since our last RITE Night, but it's good to be back, and of course, for those of you who aren't familiar, today, we'll be doing some good old-fashioned multiplayer Pyre, featuring first and foremost none other than the members of the RITE Club Discord server, the place for all things multiplayer Pyre. And if you're interested in getting more involved in multiplayer Pyre, then the best way to do so is by joining said Discord group, which you can do by clicking on that link right there. But those of you in chat, you are not off the hook. No, because you see the red circle with the white L below chat. You click on that, you'll find all the various requests that you can make today, including things ranging from selecting players. Exiles, masteries, songs, arenas, even Titan Stars are all fair game. So, without further ado, let's hop into versus mode here, and let's set ourselves to our defaults. But if there is anyone who would like to get us started today, then let me know, and we can get you in here. In the meantime, I'll jump into said Discord group. Let's see. Alright. I should be good to go. Anor would like to start? Okay then. That gives us at least one person here initially. Let me get you an invite. Alright, invite sent. Do we have anyone else who would like to get us started today? To face off against Anor here? I know it's been a while, but yeah. I think Core had held another one of the mini RITE Nights the other day, right? I think I had seen that. I think on the previous occasion I had checked it out a little bit, but I have not had the time to see how it went this go round, so hopefully that did in fact still end up happening. And perhaps people who may not have participated in RITE Night itself have maybe got a little bit of a chance to dip their toe in the water with the stuff that Core's been doing. Yeah? Nice. Yeah, that's great. Awesome. So yeah, hopefully you guys haven't been twiddling your thumbs for too long as we've had the holidays and me being out of town. So yeah, let me know if there is anyone else who'd like to get in here against Anor. Whether it be someone who was done plenty of RITE Nights before, or maybe someone who, as we were just saying, might not have done much or any RITE Night stuffs, but has done some of these little, these other matches. Core will be available in just a couple minutes. Okay, no worries. Okay. Presumably, Anor, given how she's set player 1 to the Nightwings, is going to be player 1, although you never know definitively until you get the second person in, so let's wait until we get Core before I start throwing on the names and sigils and what have you. Of course, we could take requests if there is anything we would like to see for this first one. Up to you guys. If you feel like we need a warm-up, then we could keep things simple, straightforward for the first one, or we could go absolutely crazy with some specific request if there is anything in particular you have in mind. But that's up to you. I mean, surely, after it's been a few weeks since, at least since I've hosted a RITE Night, obviously that must mean that you guys have been scheming non-stop and have lots and lots of new things to request today. Surely that must be the case, right? Alright, invite should be sent now to Core. Surely. I mean, it goes without saying, right? Let me know if I need to resend that one, Core. Nope. Sounds like that went through. And once you are in, let's just confirm that Anor is still player 1, or perhaps your places have switched around. Does somebody not have a controller plugged in? Usually, Core shows up with 2 controllers. Let's check. What does Remote Play say? Remote Play... Yeah, no, Remote Play says there are 3 controllers plugged in because Core is showing up as having 2 controllers right now, so that's a little bit odd that... There we go. Okay. So, now that we've done that little shuffle, can we just confirm who's player 1, who's player 2? Player 1 still Anor? Looks like it.
I'm player 2.
Okay, gotcha. Perfect. Let me set you guys up then. Okay, so we have Anor here. We have...
Leads I'll go Chastity, just in case.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. Chastity for Anor. We'll switch that in-game in just a second. Core, I assume you'll say Pyre Hearts then?
She's Chastity, yeah.
Okay. Alright then, and it looks like we don't have any requests from chat for this one, so I think you guys are getting off easy here. I think we're just doing a normal match. Surely that's going to change, though. I'm holding you guys to that, so we shall see, but at least for now, we'll keep it simple.
The time is nigh, exiles. Welcome to the Isle of Kaelmer.
I guess the Isle of Kaelmer could mix things up a bit.
You shall take part here in a glorious tradition. Only the righteous shall emerge victorious. The Chastity stand prepared. Pyre Hearts stand prepared. Who shall stand together here this night?
Alright, so as we were saying, no requests for this one. So totally up to you. It is the Isle of Kaelmer, which may encourage players to go in a certain direction. We will see if they go with a standard team, or if they opt to go for a more unique approach. Let's power casting Snatter in the first spot for Core. Anor has taken Tizo in the first spot. Now, with an exploding messenger imp, does start to raise some questions about what that third exile might be on Anor's team. Aura's going Gilman with Aura's Scale for the extra jumping distance. And Anor does lock in a third and final imp there. So it is triple imps at the Isle of Kaelmer, as you thought might be the case as soon as you saw her take the imp in the first spot, but didn't know for certain, of course, until she locked all those characters in. Meanwhile, Core looks to be going impless here. So completely the opposite direction from him as he goes Solium's Horn Jodariel for extra casting distance. In fact, that's 3 power, or 3 legendary talismans. So it's a little bit of night legs, it seems like. Well, outside of Snadra, I suppose, for core. There's the stun from Menor's Titan Tooth. Bought her some time, but not quite enough to make it in. At least not on that occasion.
How fortuitous.
Orb unclaimed. Core going for some banishments instead of grabbing it, but now has taken it up with Gilman, who is by himself. Looks for an opening, but could not find one. So now no Gilman, but Snadra is back defensively. Though Core is temporarily stunned by the Titan Tooth. Now it's just Snadra. And I swear, with slightly longer distance on that Nomad jump than you would usually see, I felt like I just saw Snadra get a little extra boost to make her way in, but she does plunge there. No prayer bead, so she is gone now for this round. Gilman does eventually go down. Anor has a relatively dangerous portal there, but Core is in position. Has it relatively well covered here, it would seem. Gilman looking to go on the attack here, or at least stall until he gets reinforcements, as Jodariel is banished, and now Core's defenseless, though Jody makes a timely return, only to get banished. That does bring back Gilman, though. Gilman finds the opening he's looking for, and he'll plunge for 15. No prayer beads from him, though, so now he's gone for this round. And that leaves, at the moment, just Jody. Anor through the portal. Shoulder smashed, although Core stunned. So everyone down on Core's side, and Nor debating how best to go after that orb, and waited to get what presumably was her preferred offensive imp, but in doing so, allowed Core to get some defenders back, and perhaps the opportunity has now disappeared. So maybe Anor can still find a way to make it happen here, as Titan Tooth will stun Core and give Anor time to throw it in for 25, so she does get high damage imp score out of that. Just took a little more patience. Does, however, mean that Core is now back to full strength. Just Snadra back at the moment, though, and she is momentarily stunned. She's now on the attack, and gets a double banishment there. Eventually does go down, though. And Anor's portal placement changed, and no longer nearly as threatening as it once was, though that Titan Tooth proving very effective for Anor, stunning the defenders, giving her enough time to get a full 25 damage throw off there. Wall of imps in the middle of the arena, though. Slows both players down a bit, but Core moving in with Snadra. And she gets all the way in here, plunging for 20, leeching 10 Pyre life back for Core as well. No Snadra, though, in this round, that means. And Anor somehow finds a way around Jodariel there and in for a 25 damage imp plunge, but no prayer beads means that now Anor is without Raji in this round. Snadra punished for her crazy slip-sliding nonsense. Anor through the portal. And quick enough to make it in for another 25 damage plunge here. Anor momentarily defenseless. Opportunity here for Core. And might have hesitated because he had the opportunity with his lowest damage exile. Perhaps would have preferred to have had a higher damage exile in that circumstance, but through that hesitation, the opportunity has disappeared. Jody Knocks back one defender, but still, Honor able to block and banish her. Orb inadvertently hits Honor's Pyre, bounces back out. Snadra able to shoulder smash, but she's stunned in the process. Though that trailing aura from Gilman actually fairly impactful there as it slowed Honor down. And Core wins the orb back and plunges once again with Snadra. That means once again 20 damage and 10 leech. Breaks what was a stalemate. And now means that one score potentially all that Core would need if it is with Jodariel. And Jodariel is in for this round and passing back and forth between Gilman.
Goodbye, Jodariel.
There is Gilman, went flying past the Pyre, but does throw it in for 12, and now that means any of Core's exiles have enough damage here, no longer needs to be picky. And Honor momentarily defenseless, this could be the opportunity that Core's looking for. And there it is.
The Pyre hearts prevail.
GG.
Their fire burns, whilst that of their adversaries is but ash.
Well played, you two.
Thus end this night's proceedings.
Now let's head on back.
Until the next rite.
Alright, so let us know, chat, if there's anything we'd like to see for the next one. And okay, I expected to see one of these pop up fairly quickly. It is a customized off. Which of course means randomize exiles, masteries, and talismans. Won't even get to see what those things are in advance, just gonna get thrown straight into the action. We could still do arena, we could still do a song if either of those are of interest.
There's a sermon intro.
There is still sermon intro. Let me deactivate that. We could reactivate that though, if that's something people are interested in as well, I suppose. Not seeing anything else at the moment, though, so maybe this will be it then. So let's jump in.
The chastity.
Here it's the ridge.
The Pyre
It is
hearts.
2 saps and a worm for Honor. It is a crone, a harp, and a savage for Core. Other details to be determined, as both players perhaps experimenting a little bit with what they have here. When I saw the 2 saps on Honor's side, I thought to myself, what is the chance of both players getting triple sap and the game automatically breaking itself from a customized off match? Math is actually pretty simple there, but I'd have to take a closer look to see. It's pretty low, but obviously it's not impossible. Okay, Core does not have the harp salute, confirmed. Core unable to get the throw off in time. Honor does not have the worm salute. But does she have the sap salute? Core. Tamitha banishes 1, but then gets banished. I think we saw a fell swoop there on Tamitha in that exchange. Okay, heroic stand. Learning a little bit more about Gilman. Throw from Core, unblockable, and does land here for 21. Honor locks down the orb with the sapling and collects it here. Almost. Shields from 1 cast, but banished by the second. Gertrude is back. Does she have that range? Not quite. Intercepted. Honor with a heroic stand. Oh, as Core was hanging out next to the Pyre, but Honor able to throw over. Ooh, 18 damage. It's more than you would usually see from a worm. Didn't see C's chance popped up there, so I think it's coming from the talisman in some way, and now Core throwing it in for 16 once again with his crone. Does have the savage salute, the stowaway there for Core. Fairy Spirit on Palmas for Honor. So now an infinite stamina Palmas. Look out.
Seemingly unfair.
Infinite stamina Gilman for what it's worth, though Honor defenseless, at least for a moment there. That seems like an awfully quick throw from the stowaway, I should say. Anor with the worm throw.
Aimed
Good for
thrust
10.
into the fire.
Is that a Star Splinter saluting Stowaway?
Now,
Fairy Spirit once again active. Once again, it is Pulmus picking it up. Tamitha blocked. Tamitha banished. Pulmus can't make his way in. Gertrude, thinking about it, gets rid of it to banish one of the defenders, but then gets banished by the other. Tamitha, trying to bully her way through with Fell Swoop, although doesn't need to. Oh, Triesta's Plume. Nice little surprise for Core there, as he gets an extra 5 damage, does not get the Prayer Beads-esque effect to activate that time. There's a chance that when flying into the Pyre, that Tamitha will come back as if she has Prayer Beads, but it is not guaranteed. On that occasion, Core did not get it.
someone there rose to the occasion.
Was that Infinite Stamina on the Stowaway as well? It looked like it might have been. Web Lanthorn on Gertrude for Core, I think that was. It's definitely an Infinite Stamina Stowaway from her Mastery. Which means what? Left side? Oh, and we know she has the Salute, which is on the right side.
Was true.
So we basically know all the Stowaway's Masteries.
Now end the
And one score, potentially enough to remove Alvanor's starting Pyre life.
beyond all
But she does have 2 saps. It's only 10 rekindling, though. Of course, could have had as much as 100 or potentially even more than that if she were to have the right light, but Core throws it in and reduces that second life bar down to 0, taking the
was
win.
as though the scribes themselves stood by their side.
GG.
The rite is ended.
That did seem like a pretty strong team there. That Stowaway seems pretty awesome.
Until the stars align.
Tamitha didn't seem bad either, and Gertrude, he made her work as well. Yeah, I mean, like, Webbed Lanthorn's maybe not the talisman you'd usually prefer to have on a crone, but it's still such a good talisman that you can make it work in almost any circumstance. So, at least, you know, not up to the standard of a team that you would create when you have the ability to choose your team, but by customized off standards, that's pretty darn good. Alright, but we will put customized back on, unless, of course, that's something we want to turn back off for the next time. Hope Sap and Fairy Spirit Sap. But hey, you're the Sap person, right? 2 Saps can't be... 2 Saps is better than 1, right? Well, I mean, I kind of at least thought that given how you had 2 Saps, you're going to have more than 10 rekindling. I assumed that your second life bar was going to be pretty big, so I was a little taken aback when I saw that it was only 10. Yeah. Not the best way to build the Saps, it seems. Well, let us know, chat, if there's anything we want to see for the next one. We could, of course, go for another customized off match if we wanted to. Otherwise, we can just have the players take their preferred teams. Those are 2 opposite extremes. You can also select specific things via request if you would like to. It doesn't have to be customized off or nothing. It's up to you. Not seeing anything here, though, so maybe we will get this next one started up, then just leave it up to the players to take whatever they want. You hear the water. It's the fall of Solium.
The Pyre Hearts. Welcome. Who shall conduct the rites?
Alright, so your team is up to you. And Sonor will take one of those saluting, quick-throwing stowaways. Core, did you confirm if you had the Star Splitter on your stowaway in the previous match? Because it really seemed like it on at least one occasion.
I believe I had Fairy Spirit on my stowaway.
Did you? Because I know Anor had Fairy Spirit on someone.
I think I did.
There was at least one occasion when I saw Core start throwing with the stowaway, and it was basically instantly, yeah, getting up to full. So it seemed like that was
I had
a Star Splinter. Maybe my eyes were deceiving me.
Sir Gilman.
Then maybe it was your Fairy Spirit. Okay.
Alright, so Nor goes Web Lanthorn Tizo. Core led with Gilman. Now going for the stuns on a second worm.
Sir Gilman.
Nor voluntarily taking a worm there. That was, it's not something we would usually see her do. But Thorn's not on Deluge, yeah. Caught me a bit by surprise. On Gilman. My apologies. On Gilman. I was half tempted for you to click when you had the cursor right in between those two skills and just see which one it gave you. And Legendary Crone Talisman on Bertrude to cast through barriers is Core's final choice. Anor teleports to the orb and goes full Ninja Savage, but does eventually get stopped. Gilman to Bertrude. Bertrude a little bit short on the jump, so she goes down.
The orb is up.
Stowaway. Back at it, although the ninja-ing was not quite as effective as perhaps she might have hoped, as it bounced around in a way that she might not have hoped it would.
Poor exile.
Anor, now with Tizo and over to Gilman. He's stopped. Core's Gilman over to Bertrude. That throw is unblockable, but it's not quick enough. Anor gets back to Stowaway. Here she is. Back to Ninjing and avoids banishment by doing so, but Core gets it back, and that throw is also unblockable. This one does land, this time for 9. Stowaway wins the orb race and gets the throw off in time for 14. Stowaway again here. This time, throw lands for 10. Stowaway. Throw once again. Oh, it's Stubborn Flame. That's the most damage that Anor can deal right now, because she's in the lead. Because Bertrude is reducing Honor's maximum damage by 10. Kor throws this one in for 15. Honor's still in the lead, which means Stubborn Flame is still active here. Which means, as we now confirm, that is once again just 10 damage on that occasion. So that Stubborn Flame is already proven to be very valuable for Kor. It has reduced Honor's damage quite significantly. Kor throws this one in for 15 with Gilman. Stubborn Flame still active here. Honor almost got the throw off. Got knocked back. And now banished. Bertrude to Gilman. Gilman to Bertrude. Back to Gilman. Back to Bertrude. The throw. Banished before Bertrude could get it off. Tizo. Gilman comes back. Heroically, I might add. Or valiantly, I should really say. Kor with Lady River taken out. Stowaway. Throw intercepted. Now just Bertrude for Kor. Trying to loop around, but blocked, and now banished. Gilman stopped as well. That leaves Honor with just Tizo back. And Kor does get the throw off just before he ends up turning that into a plunge. So it's 14 damage, but Kor does keep all of his characters here. His throw, short. Now Honor with the stowaway quickly banished. Gilman for Kor this time does land, and this time it's 11. Stowaway. Once again, the pinball action on the throw, maybe not what Honor is looking for. Made it a little bit harder for the stowaway to teleport back to the orb and make her escape. So now it's Kor back in possession, and Kor plunging for 30, dropping Honor down to just 6. So one score from any of Kor's exiles would be enough. But Honor now with just Tizo. At least until the stowaway makes her return, and here she is. But now it's her, and well, Gilman is back as well. Stowaway's throw does land, and no Stubborn Flame. So that is the full 20 damage on that occasion. Which does make it a little bit easier for Honor to mount a comeback here, but of course one score still all that Kor would need. There is Honor's throw landing for the full 20, and suddenly now Honor can also finish this with one score, though in her case it would need to be the stowaway. No one else would have enough, but there it is, threads the needle with that throw, and gets the job done.
They somehow managed to scrape by despite their adversaries' efforts.
GG.
The ceremony is complete.
Savage good. Confirmed.
Until the next rite.
In case there was any doubt, I'm not sure there ever was. Alright, but let us know if there's anything we'd like to see for this one here. In which case, we can of course make that happen. Otherwise, if not, we'll just have the players take their preferred teams. Not seeing anything at the moment, though. So perhaps, in that case, we'll just have the players take whatever they'd like here. So let's get started again.
Book.
It might actually be.
Chastity
Oh no, it's the blade.
shall take on.
For a second there, I thought I recognized that sound effect. I was like, did he actually name it?
Welcome.
Oh, hold on just a second.
Who shall conduct?
Thaler with the last second exiles request. What will it be, Thaler? Perhaps he was waiting to see just which arena it was going to be. Now that we know it's the Glade. You can use anything to boost stats up to allowable, any order. Oh, yes, okay, so at least one with greater than or equal to 15 quickness, one with greater than or equal to 15 hope, one with greater than or equal to 15 presence. Use anything to boost the stats up to the allowable number, any order is allowed. So there are, of course, some exiles that immediately reach those criteria, or at least one of those criteria already. That does make it more straightforward. Curs meet two of the criteria immediately. Alright, so nowhere goes Speedy Bertrude, which has enough presence and quickness. So not immediately clear which one she's going for there. Does maintain some flexibility for future picks. Core almost meets all of the criteria on one character, but falls a little bit short on the presence, although maybe might revise his strategy to see if there is a way to make that happen. Yeah, I'm actually surprised that the Crone presence is that big. It is possible, Core, for what it's worth, but not with the way you spec that character. There you go.
I did it, Lids.
If you wanted a character to have everything 15 or higher.
I figured out the puzzle.
Puzzle solved indeed. It might be possible with other characters as well. I'm not sure. I mean, we saw the Curs already start with two of them ready to go. Oh yeah, imps are super close.
Oh, this is freaking easy.
Alright, so it is a speedy Tizo for Core, which means he has complete flexibility with his other two characters, as he met all the criteria with that Tizo. Savages not far away either. I mean, some of these characters, if you were trying to make them 15 or higher with everything, then perhaps you would be building them suboptimally, so to speak. But I suppose, you know, that's part of what makes it a little bit interesting. It's not as if you're just taking your standard sets here. And an Orko's Webland Thorn on Tizo, who already met the presence and hope criteria. So I think Anor still has some flexibility on that last pick. Whereas, as we were saying before, Core has basically complete flexibility here because he met all the criteria with Tizo. Now Snadra has enough hope, but that was it. So, very clearly, Snadra is fitting the hope role. And Stowaway already meets both quickness and hope thresholds. I admittedly do not remember which stat it is that Anor technically still needs here. She had presence and quickness from Bertrude, I think. And then presence and hope, probably, from Tizo. Was it quickness? No.
Yeah, she needs hope.
She needs hope? Okay. Well, Stowaway does work in that case. Doesn't need anything else to make that happen. This is only level 1 of the request? Oh dear. Wait, there may be more. Maybe he means on subsequent occasions, but this is just for starters. Just up it to 30. There's at least one character who can certainly do that. Well, there are several ways to make that happen, I think. And Core has done Hope with Snadra. He can have his Tizo fill any role. And Iggy already meets the criteria for presence, so Core's good to go as well. So these are teams with a character with at least 15 hope, presence, and quickness. And it is Nor getting a started with a 20 damage plunge from the Stowaway. No prayer beads on her though, so she's now gone for this round. And some big zaps from Snadra, banishing all of the opposing teams, so time to throw it in for 20 and leech back 10 Pyre life for Core as well. Double banishment from Bertrude though. Clears out space for the Stowaway. She'll plunge for 20 here. Big gas. Traded between Snadra and Bertrude, but Snadra wins out on that occasion. She's blocked though, and Anor scoops it back up. Brings back Bertrude in the process. Oh, through the portal. Split second too quickly as the aura was still there. Which means time for Core to throw that one in for 20 and once again leech back 10. Core was thinking about the big banishment on perhaps all of Anor's team and still got 2 out of the 3. Anor now more careful with the timing of the portal play. Trying to make sure she doesn't get greeted by a huge Snadra cast. Orb does inadvertently hit Anor's Pyre, bounce back out, which does mean takes a little more time, but still more than enough for Core to throw it in here for 20. Still way down, that leaves just Tizo now. And nowhere for Tizo to go. He's trapped in the corner and doesn't have any portals to go through. At least until he gets banished himself, but now the Stowaway comes back. She gets banished. Bertrude back against Tizo. Bertrude able to clean that up. Oh, and the Stowaway with a devious salute there. Nearly causes Core some trouble, but Core able to stop that attack and now back in possession with his Tizo. Makes it all the way through and has extra damage on Tizo, no less. Which means now one score from any of Core's exiles would potentially be enough here. But an ore with a 30 damage plunge from Bertrude. Needs no Bertrude in this round, though. Whereas Core, of course, still at full strength here. Moving all of his chips to the middle of the table and cashes them in here for the win.
And what a crushing victory it was.
GG.
The rite is complete.
Alright, well, let's head on back. Well played, you two.
Until the stars align.
And let us know, chat, if there's anything we want to see for the next one. Because Phaler hinted that he might be looking to do something similar for this one. Although perhaps a little more extreme. Alright, level 2 this time. It is now 27 or more for each of the attributes. Glory is also included this time, though. So, Phaler, does that basically mean if we're including Glory, you can skip one of the stats? You know, you basically just choose which 3 you want to go for, and if for whatever reason there's one stat you don't like as much, you can leave that stat with without any characters with 27 or higher.
No, I think he means you need all of the stats.
Oh, so you'd have to have one character who doubles up, getting 27 or higher on multiple stats? Ooh.
Oh, no. Yeah. Yeah, like, the thing with Glory is that it's so...
It's
doesn't
close
really
already.
add,
Yeah.
so...
Take a demon and you're already there. Okay. I guess it's maybe not that impactful to add Glory to the equation, that it was just a complete non-factor before, since everyone was going to have at least 15 Glory.
You'd think that they would add Glory to certain masteries, because, like, stuff just gives you base damage, like, Imp,
Kerr,
Kerr, not
Crohn's.
necessarily. You could throw it in.
Yeah,
Crohn's, not necessarily.
that's conditional.
Yeah, any conditional is not really. Like Astral Eye should add just Glory.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Because that's unconditional. So yeah, do any of those technically count as Glory, Phaler? Are we gonna count those?
Just if you have the potential to deal more than 27, is that the idea?
Or does it actually need to be Glory by name?
Only
Astral Eye counts. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Alright, any other questions, or do we feel like we understand how this works then? I feel like we've figured out the nuances of it. Oh, we locked in Arena as well. What was it? It was Book?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, well, let's get going then.
The chastity shall now face the Pyre hearts. Welcome.
Okay, so this time,
Who shall conduct the rites?
This time, players must have at least one character with 27 or higher. Glory, Presence, Quickness, and Hope. So it means at least one character is going to have to double up here. Glory, of course, as we were just saying, since characters like the demons already almost do it automatically, maybe that's not that big of a factor, but we'll see what approach people take. This 27 is just high enough that it does still mean you need to apply some sort of boost for several classes on several different stats, even if it's just a little bit. Both hexes on crones will count for glory, Phaler says. So that means you can get the crones for glory with just masteries. So do players just go for the perceived most efficient way to check off as many stats as quickly as possible? Or do they try to find a way that it might not get quite as many in total, but might be a little bit more effective? Since, you know, if you go all in on maximizing the 27 plus stats on as many characters as you can, you might have more than enough. You might still be able to make that threshold with room to spare. I'm not quite sure. But if there is some wiggle room, then there is some potential to optimize a little bit further to players' preferences, rather than this just being a pure math test. But I am not sure. Orlex certainly is not making it on hope, but he is definitely there already on presence. He's almost there on glory, and not that far away on quickness either. Is Orlex allowed? Phaler says sure. Base demons, they're awfully close. So you only need to double up on one character. So it feels like if you get that all set and ready to go, then it's not that difficult for your other two characters to have just one stat at 27 or higher. That isn't asking that much. So maybe it is still possible for players to have some ability here to set up their teams in their own way, rather than there just being one correct solution to this puzzle. But it is a puzzle indeed. It is still a puzzle, though. Does the imp additional damage count as glory? That's unconditional, isn't it? That's guaranteed. Both throwing and plunging, right? So seemingly, by the logic we've applied, that yes, that should count. Okay. The imp damage does count from the mastery on the left side. Interesting. An Orgo's Hope on a Savage. So only one of the stats met with that setup. And that was not the easiest way to get up to the Hope threshold, but it does work. By that I just mean that there are other classes with higher base hope than the Savages. But Nor decided that that was the best way to meet that criteria. We'll see if Core agrees. Yeah, that's the thing. There's a lot of ways to get up to around 25, but the fact that the threshold is 27 rather than 25 is a pretty big deal. That makes it significantly more difficult to reach the cutoff. Crones by default, well, with those stats, do automatically reach glory. So you might be able to double down on the Crones. Do they have enough elsewhere? You have to imagine Orlek can. So we're counting Astral Eye for glory, then yes, that means Orlek has enough glory and enough presence. So he would be doubling down here. As we were saying, there needs to be at least one character who does that on each team. So that's how Core will start things off. Honor went Hope with Ulmer, so she does still need at least one character with 2 stats at 27 or higher. Orlek does certainly seem like the most straightforward way to make that happen. Or at least one of the most straightforward ways. Yeah, that's the tricky thing, is that you can reach 27. Oh! Honor went quickness and presence with Orlek. Did not expect the quickness. I had assumed that with 25 glory to start off with, she would just get a little bit more there. But yeah, that's the thing with the ring. It gives you that extra 2. There are a lot of people who have base 25 of a given stat, so getting a ring does get you up there for 1 stat, but not for the other. And if you take 1 ring, you probably want to take the other ring as well, and that means that's 2 characters that probably only have 1 stat at 27. So if you already have someone who has doubled down, then maybe that's still something you're okay with, but it's tricky. So Core has already doubled down. So if he just focuses on 1 stat per character, that is fine, and he does that with Gilman, as he has 33 quickness.
I just need hope.
I think that's... yeah, because Orlek was your first character. You definitely did not get up to 27 hope on him, so yes. Core's looking for hope, and Nora's looking for presence, I think it is. Which she can certainly do with Jodariel. In fact, Jody can double down here as well. That's why I think that even base demons, I know players were eyeing Orlek, but base demons can definitely make glory plus presence work. But after already having picked one of the demons, Orlek obviously is not a standard demon, but is that reason enough for players to look elsewhere? Oh, look at that. Honor goes for the presence mastery. Interesting. Gives her a little more flexibility on the talisman. So now Core needs hope. Kerr's definitely being one of the highest base hope characters. Perhaps making that the most straightforward way to do it. But with that Harp Mastery, giving the stat boost across the board, that does make it possible to get up to 27 with them. Is that the way that Core prefers to do that, though? It is. Alright, so here we go. both teams with a character with at least 27 on every stat.
The orb.
They've set up somewhat similarly, as both players have Orlek. And there is Orlek, plunging for 33 on that occasion.
Exactly by the
And now a 20 damage plunge from Ulmer. But of course, although the characters have very high stats of some variety, as we see Orlek once again plunging for 33, they did have to make compromises elsewhere. So it'll be interesting to see to what extent the players can play to their characters' strengths here, because they are rather pronounced, those strengths. Soxion trying to clear out room, and nearly does, but she at least escapes, banishes a defender, gets the orb back, and does make it in.
to the scribes.
Gareth, banished by Orlek. Orlek, for core, dispossessed.
Oh,
Somehow jumps around the Pyre that time, and
a devious menu.
that was confusing. Because that throw really looked like that was Orlek dropping the orb after an orb jumped next to him.
Ulmer plunged into the fires of his foe.
And now it is Ulmer jumping in for 20. No prayer beads on him, he's gone. At least for this round. Orlek for an orb. Does get banished, and of course, for both players, waiting for Orlek's return is going to be painful, as that is perhaps the biggest sacrifice they had to make, both taking him and not having a way to get him back more quickly.
Yes.
Core's score there means that now one score, potentially all that he needs. Jody banished, that leaves Core with Soxiana around the defender and in for the win.
The Pyre Hawks prevail.
GG.
They overwhelmed their adversaries utterly.
I was so confused why
Thus
that
end
orb
this
went in.
night's
The one that I tried
proceedings.
to throw.
With Orlek, or whichever
Yeah.
demon it was.
Yeah.
It really looked like he just dropped it, and it
I
happened to
did
go in the
drop
direction
it.
of the Pyre.
Yeah, but I think when you're throwing it and you drop it, it counts if it goes in.
Huh. See, I mean, because the trajectory, like, obviously it went in the direction of the Pyre, whether it was a throw or a drop. But the thing was that usually when you throw it, it's a little bit more forceful. It's a little bit quicker, more direct. And that looked more like a softer, lighter little drop. Which is why I did not expect it to count.
Until the next rite.
Have we seen that happen before, though?
I feel like I've seen it on occasion.
That angle as well, I feel like, made it especially odd, because it was basically straight up. Which made it a little bit harder to see the trajectory of the throw/drop.
It's like in like if you play like NBA 2K, it's like when you are like half court shotting it, and you're like, you shouldn't be able to get it in, but you just get it in because of luck.
Sometimes it just happens that way. Alright, well, let's reset the arena, but let us know if there is anything we'd like to see for the next one. That was 27 or more on all of the stats. But we heard that 15 or higher was level 1. 27 or higher was level 2. Is there a level 3? Well, it'll be at the cairn. One way or another. Can we go higher than 27? I don't know. Is there some other way to increase the difficulty? It did seem like it was pretty close. We didn't have that there. Oh, wait, there is. You can set it to 33.
Yeah, you can set it to 33, yeah. If you choose Orlek again, that reaches 33. I think you can do 2 more.
But Phaler says,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, at that point, it is
it's
basically a math problem with one correct solution, or very close to one correct solution. Because it was interesting to see last time that, you know, it wasn't as if the players took exactly the same teams. yeah, basically take the exile with the highest base stat for a given category, give them the stat boosting talisman for that, and then the demons can double down. Would Brazen Manor count if you only score while it's up? That's a question. Also, Core, that is the correct way to request that song. Oh, customize off. Okay. Okay. Well, that means we have everything accounted for here then. Arena, song, and also customize off. So, let's do it. What will we get this time?
The chastity shall take on the Pyre hearts.
Okay, Demon, Nomad, Harp for Nor, Savage Nomad, and Imp for Core as both players. Checking to see which of these salutes they may or may not have. A Black Hoof on Nor's side, I just saw. It is on Ignarius. Saxiana for Nor. Seemed a little quick. Perhaps that extra quickness helped Saxiana get in. Maybe my eyes are playing tricks on me, but now it is Core quickly countering. Getting in here for 20 with the Stowaway, or rather with Gareth. How could I have mistaken it? It was so stylish, it could only have been Gareth. Headwind through the portal. And in. And he's all the way down on the left side because he had Leech. So that is pretty telling for Core. And that was Gareth again. Saxiana finds her way through, plunging for 20 here.
The chastity are now favored. Oof.
Chastity are now favored oof. Black Hoof and all. No one back anymore for Nor, though. That means time for Core to throw this one in for 20. And that does seem like a fell swoop on Saxiana. So that's at least partially right side for her. Really sounded like Ignarius just went, bruh. 13 damage on the throw from Core on that occasion. Once again, that fell swoop working well for Nor. Oh, she had an opportunity there, but chose not to take it. Odd, not sure what that was about. And went back to the starting position as if that was to reset. Not sure what that was all about. Yeah, Black Hoof.
She did the targeting.
Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. The shoulder smash there, making a difference. But everyone banish on Nor's side means time for Core to throw this one in for 20. Yeah, makes the fell swoop spawn somewhere else. Hoof, oof, and Black Hoof. Oh, wait, hold on. There it is. Glorious. How utterly brazen indeed. Scoring with Black Hoof. The true climax, the true ending of, what was it? Oof, Hoof, and Black Hoof.
I need Leech, I think.
That was a crazy fell swoop right there.
No.
One score, potentially all Nor needs here, and there it is. She'll take the win.
Or you could say they managed to avoid defeat.
GG.
The rite is done.
All right, well, let's head on back.
Until the next rite.
I mean, we had to have a cursed talisman at some point with these customized off matches, of course. All right, but let's reset. Let us know if there's anything we'd like to see for the next one, though. Core will do one more. Did Anor? Yeah, I was going to say, I think Anor said she was looking to swap out fairly soon as well, so let us know if there is anyone else in chat who would like to get in soon, because looks like we may have a double change incoming here, so we'll be looking for several people in that case. So if there is anything we still want to see between Anor and Core, this will likely be our last chance to make that happen, so let us know. Alright, Phalar will swap in, take one of their places. Hopefully we can get a second person as well to take the other person's spot, as Core is setting us on the pit. Dread design, okay. Is he sending a message here? Because there's certainly a common theme that I'm noticing.
No messages, just ambiance.
Okay. Okay, there's a bit of a withdrawn theme here that I'm noticing. Anything else, or will that be all? Looks like that's it. So let's get started.
The chastity shall now face the Pyre hearts. Welcome. Who shall conduct the rites?
Alright, so team composition is up to the players here. We did not have any requests for that. Huh. This arena does have a lot of potential for interesting stuffs. And Anor goes Bright Wisp for the auto passing. If the Stowaway has the orb when she gets banished. Interesting. A little unconventional. Quick throwing Jodariel in the first spot for Core. A little more straightforward there. But Anor might be up to something. As she goes Speedy Tamitha. Well, Core goes Titan Tooth on Barker. Which Anor answers with Titan Tooth on Tamitha. Finally, a Speedy Bertrude for Core. Alright, so our final showdown between Anor and Core for the day. And that was an interesting one. Titan Tooth stuns Core, and something banished Anor there. I'm not entirely sure what it was, but oh my goodness, that was fast. Second XL variation for the Chastity is fantastic. You are not wrong. I do very much like this Panther color scheme that we're seeing right now. That's a double Titan Tooth, both players stunned. The orb is up, and in. Well-timed cast. Takes out Jodariel. Anor able to swap out of the Titan Tooth stun, though only on the first occasion, not on the second. As this time, Core uses that stun to find his way in for 20 damage. There's the auto pass. There's the wall bouncing to set up this harp plunge. Auto pass again. This time Anor defenseless, so time for Core to throw this one in for 30. Yeah, the wings on the second harp are great. Exactly. And one score, potentially all that Anor needs here, as she tries to go the wall bouncing route, but doesn't have as much success on that occasion. Core would still need at least 2 scores, though. There's the Titan Tooth stun, helping to set up a banishment, and then subsequently a score. Now it is possible for Core to finish this with 1 score, though it would need to be Jodariel. Or Bertrude, potentially. I suppose with Barker banished, there's potentially an automatic condition for Core to reach.
Although their adversaries put up quite an effort,
As he gets just enough damage from that
the
score.
ceremony is complete.
GG. Well played, you two. Now let's head on back.
Until the stars align.
Alright, now I think that Core and Anor were both saying they wanted to swap out here, and we were looking to get Phaler in. We ideally would get one more person in as well to go up against Phaler, so let us know if there's anyone who would like to do that. In the meantime, let me get our previous 2 players out here. Unless Core... I don't know if you need to go, or if you're good to stick around, because at the moment I don't think we have a second person for Phaler. I see Anor has already left, but Core is currently still in remote play. I don't know how much to read into that.
I mean, I'll stick in if no one's playing, no one else is jumping in.
I don't see anyone at the moment. Let me...
Yeah, I can have that Phaler.
Alright. Let me get
Let me
Phaler
add
in
a- Let me add him, boss.
that. Alright. Hold your horses!
You're like Tyler Durden.
I don't know who
You
that
realize
is.
Lids?
I have no idea who that is.
From Fight Club.
Oh, okay. Well, hold on. Hold on, Core. We're not supposed to talk about that.
For Core.
Oh yeah, we're not supposed to. Right, rule 1.
Come on,
Two.
Core. I know that much.
Okay.
Well, in the meantime, while we're waiting to get Phaler in, let's take a look at this clip here, which I'm assuming is from that first score, which was pretty crazy.
Root for Core.
So I didn't even have time to articulate what it was that happened, but take a look at this.
Alright, so our
Very
final
beginning of the
showdown
game.
between Anor-
So Nor has the orb here with the stowaway after teleporting to it. Watch how Core is jumping in with Jodariel, and in doing so is going to stun the stowaway, so she'll get staggered and fly off in this direction. She will also get dispossessed. The orb will go flying, usually in an entirely different direction. But look at what happens here.
Core and Core.
So there is the jump landing. Stowaway gets knocked straight toward Core's Pyre. The orb also happens to fly straight towards Core's Pyre. And look what happens next.
For the day. And
As soon as the stowaway is unstunned, the orb lands right in her clutches, and she gets, despite being stunned, completely, just an automatic, basically an automatic score, even after Core made the defensive play.
one. Root for Core. Alright, so
You
our
don't
final
see that
showdown
very
between
often, and by you
Anor
don't
and
see that
Core
very
for
often,
the day.
I'm not sure I've ever seen that happen, at least not that cleanly.
One.
That was pretty insane.
There was a clip in the Karen match where Anor jumped and hit me into my own portal, and then because he was over the portal, I got banished.
Okay. That's up there as well, in the world of crazy coincidental physics stuff's happening. But I think this,
Pure skill play right there.
yeah, this is pure
Pure
skill.
Calculated.
Exactly. Alright, so it looks like we'll get Core and Phaler going here for a little bit. Phaler's into player 1. Okay, let me set you up here. That's not how you spell his name. There we are. Okay. So let us know, chat, if there's anything we'd like to see for this one. Our first matchup between Phaler and Core for the day. Otherwise, of course, if not, we can have them take whatever they'd like. Not seeing any. Yeah, it was all planned. It was all planned. It was exactly how Nor had mapped it out. It's all part of the strategy. Alright, but not seeing anything request-wise here, so why don't we get this one started then? Oh? Hold on. Hold on just a second. This is our first boat of the day.
Who shall conduct the rites?
We shall see how the players choose to react to that fact. Not that there's a right and a wrong way to react to it, but there might be a right and a wrong way to react to it, as Phaler leads off with a speedy Jodariel, who certainly is capable of getting some pretty sweet airtime using that boat magic. Yeah, because we were talking about, the crazy as Core takes a Titan Tooth on Gilman. We were talking about the crazy coincidental physics stuffs that happened in that match and in some previous matches, but it's hard to say definitively that anything is the best when it comes to that type of thing when it did not take place on the boat, because there's just so much potential on the boat that you can never rule that out, that the boat can always find a way to one-up any other map. As Phaler goes 2 demons, but Core has yet to take any himself. What is this nonsense? Phaler goes to the Typhoon bottle just in case all those low hope demons happen to get banished simultaneously, giving a little bit of protection. As apparently Bertrude had extra quickness of some variety in the previous match with the customize off. So instead, Core will go Udmilda with the Leech. Alright, so here we go. Our first matchup between Phaler and Core for the day, as that was Core's Titan Tooth, slowing Phaler down and giving Core a window, although as you just saw, Phaler took all of the extra starting Pyre life, so even after that score, Phaler is practically at 200. Phaler. Banished. Now Gilman. Looking for an opening. Can't find one. Ooh, and on that occasion, Phaler might not have wanted to get the crazy boat magic jump, so it did mean more time for Core to get the orb back and throw this one in for 11. Phaler chooses his demon, but gets banished. Core switches in, but Bertrude, or rather Udmilda, still banished. Ametha for Core. Looking for a way around the wall of demons. Okay, they're still looking for the magic demon jump. Hasn't quite gotten it, at least not when he's needed it. Oh, hold on. Core broke out the Crone Salute to transform all of Phaler's exiles into Howlers, and then Phaler just said, fine, have it your way. I'll score as a Howler. That, of course, being a trick that Core can only pull off once. Usually good for what is functionally an automatic score for Core, not for Phaler. Phaler tabled the turns. Core looking to exact some revenge here, and does so at least a little bit, with Udmilda no less. Titan Tooth stunning both players on that occasion. Phaler mix in with Vids here. Once again, the double Titan Tooth, but Core was able to swap out of it, I think.
Now there's a proper douse.
And plunges here with Udmilda for another 30.
Alas for Gilman.
Oh, that was an interesting trajectory on the Titan Tooth stun, as Panther seemingly went flying straight up. There's the double Titan Tooth. Double Titan Tooth again. But Core first to get the orb back. Goes for the throw, but it's intercepted. Oh, however, Core is still dangerously close to Phaler's Pyre and is able to throw it in for 15. His Paleth. Lots of Titan Tooth stuns. Core able to bounce back from that one. Looking for a way through for Udmilda. And now for Gilman.
Engulfed within the aura.
And Phaler does find a way in as a demon. I was going to say earlier, he was having more success offensively in Howler form than in demon form. Imagine that, a demon mastery like the Imp Salute that transforms them into Howler as well. Not that there'd be much use case for that, much like there's not much use case for the Imp version either. Barring the rare exception for when your opponent is using the Crone Salute. Ooh, and Core elusively finds his way through, but only now is he getting Phaler below 100 Pyre life, because as we were saying before, just such a huge number to begin with on Phaler's Pyre, as Phaler once again gets the downside of the Pope magic, but is still able to control the chaos just enough to make it in there for 30.
Gilman banished.
Core with Panther switches in to Udmilda, and she makes it in for 30. Core wins the race. Now looking for an opening, but can't find one. Another interesting stun trajectory. His Paleth makes it in. Plunges for 30, and that means that only 10 Pyre life left for Core, so one score for Phaler, whether it be certainly a plunge or even a quick throw. Likely to be enough here. Core, not enough time to throw. Now an opportunity for Phaler. Somehow did not get banished on that occasion. At least not initially. But now Phaler defenseless, although he did take the Typhoon Bottle for this exact reason. With everyone banished on Phaler's side, Core's unable to sprint, jump, throw, or use any other special ability, slowed him down enough to at least give Phaler a chance by getting some defenders back, but now Core, after getting that 20 damage throw off, it is possible for him to finish this with one score as well. Would need to be coming from Udmilda, though. No one else would have enough damage. So does Core try to force the issue with Udmilda, or will he take anything he can get here? But here's Phaler on the attack. As we were saying before, anything for him, just about, would be enough. Phaler back in control. Big demon jump, but not big enough. Here we see both Gilman and Panther, neither of whom have enough damage for Core, but here's Udmilda, who is the threatening character. Phaler with Iggy for the win.
GG.
The fate prevailed.
Good game.
GG.
Their fire nearly was extinguished there, but no.
Well played, you two.
Thus end this night's proceedings.
Tournament-worthy comp right there, man.
That was a good match.
That sucks. I didn't mean to use my salute when I swapped.
Until the stars align.
Alright, so let us know if there is anything we'd like to see for the next one. Otherwise, we'll just have the players take their preferred teams. Not seeing anything at the moment, though. So if we do not have anything that people are looking for, then we'll just have the players take whatever they want here. Which is technically what happened last time, just we had a boat, so that does tend to skew the setups in a certain direction. A certain demonic direction, more often than not. But okay, let's get started then. Wait, that little loading screen.
Shall confront the Pyre.
That little loading screen said that the T, the salute button, can activate certain mastery and talisman effects. Are there any talismans that are affected by the salute?
No, they're not.
Yeah, that seemed weird.
Greg lying to us.
Yeah. What the heck? That could be an interesting design space, though, to have a talisman that affects how your salute works. I mean, take a character like, or class, like the Curs, who don't have a salute that does anything. Make their legendary talisman instead, and they also, coincidentally, don't have a very popular legendary talisman. So give them a legendary talisman that instead gives them some effect on their salute. I don't know what it would be, but...
Maybe gives their teammates +5, everyone on their team +5 quickness for like 10 seconds.
Something like that? I mean, anything, just because it just seems like that's
You're
sort
right
of
that
an
it would
unexplored
have to be
space.
a legendary, though. It'd have to be either the Nomad or Cur legendary, because everyone else has a salute already.
Yeah.
Or like some salute effect.
And obviously the legendary talisman for nomads is very popular, but the legendary talisman for Curs is very unpopular. So it feels like it wouldn't be that ridiculous to more or less rewrite the Cur talisman to do that. I don't even know.
Honestly, a Cur Brazen Manor, but a legendary talisman would be pretty interesting.
Something similar to that. You know, Curs, what they're naturally very high hope, very high quickness. Give self and or teammates an extra jump, because that's another one of their things. Or at least give self an extra jump so you can get quadruple jumping Cur for a duration after having finished a salute. That's probably a little too ridiculous and maybe less feasible to do, but would be hilarious. Because then you're definitely hopping the entire length of the arena at that point. Core is jotting this down.
Oh, sorry, are we playing? My bad. I was talking to someone. What did he take? Oh my goodness, of course he does. Of course. Typical.
Oh, okay.
Sir Gilman,
Vengeful vow on Snadra is interesting. Oh dear.
Oh no, is it blasphemy?
I mean, technically by Civil War standards, no, but I can think of at least one person who isn't going to be pleased with you if you do that.
Volfred.
On that occasion, though, with Volfred with the nutrition stick, that's probably fine. That must be fine. And it's Prayer Beads Tamitha in the last spot for Phaler. Web Lanthorn Messenger for Core. Alright, so Phaler did, of course, take the canned Singularity in case nobody caught that. Which does mean that Phaler can do that. Because with Sacred Bonds, it means he can bring back his imp by stepping on its portrait, such as we saw just there. And in doing so, it activates a gravitational pull. A canned singularity, if you will. It causes chaos. But Core able to throw it in for 10 there. Core on the attack with Gilman. But there is the canned singularity activating the old-fashioned way. And it helped Phaler out there, even if that might not have been his initial plan. Chizo. The source of this chaos. However, it's a window here for Core, as momentarily Phaler was defenseless there. Big implosion. Room for Gilman, and his throw lands for 25.
How very fortunate for the Pyre.
Tizo. Banishes one. Gets it back. Suddenly by himself. And Gilman, once again, goes the throw. Gets 14.
Punishment for all.
And Phaler defenseless. And with Seize Chance, that's 25 damage on this Gilman throw, which means one more score. Likely all that Core would need here. Any of his characters would have enough to make it happen. But now just Messenger Imp. Gilman returns. His throw. And that'll do it.
The
Game.
Pyre prevail.
GG.
Their adversaries confidently thwarted. The right is done.
Alright. Well played, you two. Now let's head on back.
Until the next right.
Alright, so let us know if there's anything we'd like to see for the next one. Otherwise, as always, we can just have the players take their preferred teams. Whatever works for you guys. Oh, Honora says it's time for more customized off. Fair enough. We've gone too long with the ability to set our own teams. So we could still do arena, we could still do song, but otherwise, characters, masteries, and talismans are accounted for. But not seeing anything else here. So it looks like we'll get this one started up.
The fate versus
Okay,
the
what's the
Pyre
pit?
Hearts.
It's Sap, Demon, Imp for Failure. It is Harp, Sap, and Nomad for Core. See what else we can learn. That is a very fast, perhaps accentuated by the wall bouncing, but very fast Saxiana. Of course, there's a cursed talisman. It's Black Claw on Core's Paulus, so he cannot cast. We also saw the Fairy Spirit, which I thought was on...
The orb is taken.
I was about to say Gareth, but it definitely isn't. No, it's Failur's Manly who has the Fairy Spirit, I think.
Now,
Gareth. Incredibly stylish.
unimpressive thrust, but
Whoa, voice, slow your roll. You did not just call Gareth unimpressive. Take that back immediately. Take that back immediately. He has false step.
brilliantly
There is another 20 damage plunge from Zaxiana. I suppose the Winged Fury does make her faster. So that might have been at play on that previous occasion when we saw her speeding through. Taylor inching forward with the help of those saplings, although away go the saplings. Gareth does have Fairy Spirit. Along with Taylor's Manly? Do we have 2 Fairy Spirit exiles here?
Pyre Hearts
Ooh,
banished
Numbing
to the
Gust
land.
slows Failure down. Oh, almost was close enough to the Pyre that didn't matter, though. So that presumably means that Core does not have much, potentially none at all, of the Rekindling. Yeah, there's confirmation. Certainly Fairy Spirit on Manly. Thought we did see it on Gareth at least once or twice, but then there's one occasion where I thought I didn't see it activate, so I'm a little confused as to whether Gareth does or does not have it. Almas for Core. Okay, they're trying to rush him down and corners him in a wall of auras. Is Jody fast enough? Not quite. There is Fairy Spirit, so yes, absolutely. We have 2 Fairy Spirit exiles. Interesting. So we have already seen a lot of moon drops, and that will likely continue. Gareth, not quick enough on that occasion. Must have been that he deemed that was the more stylish approach. Down he goes, and that means no one back defensively here. And this time, Jody does have, enough time for the plunge, and with Dying Flame, extra boost to her damage, so it was 38. Saxiana. No salute. Gareth, Banish. Raji's throw is intercepted, although banishes one defender, then gets banished by the second. Saxiana, she goes down. Gareth returns, and Gareth throws for 19, one off his maximum. And don't think we've seen any damage boost. No, in fact, we know No, we don't know what Palmas's talisman is. I guess there's a chance Palmas has extra damage that could make it possible for him to finish it with 1 score. But we might see some rekindling on Phaler's side. We know that Core has Numbing Gust, so might have little to potentially no rekindling at all, but we've not seen that from Phaler, I don't think. So, or if we have, then I don't remember. So, he might have more rekindling. What's up, JC Stat? How's it going? As there's 20 damage from Core's plunge. And now Phaler dropping to 12 certainly means if Phaler does not have rekindling, 1 score could be enough for Core. Infinite stamina on the sap. No, Phaler goes for the imp instead. Sets up a somewhat effective, somewhat dangerous portal, I suppose. Oh, and through the portal, Phaler goes with a demon, no less. So, but Gareth's return is just in time. Picks up his own fairy spirit, makes him extra speedy. Oh, but not quite quick enough to make it in, even with that extra assistance. Portal is still there. Ooh, and Jody was almost able to clear out enough space there to make something happen, but not quite. And the portal stays in just about the same position. Oh, well, the Fairy Spirit, it may be there, but it's not going to do much, at least not for Phaler. A Dying Flame is still active, so 38 damage. Phaler has only scored twice, but both times it has been for such huge damage that he is absolutely still in this. Especially if he has rekindling. He does, but it's only 10. As we were saying before, we know that Core at most has 10. I mean, unless he happens to have a... Oh, unless he happens to have a RITE NITE, in which case he would have 30 at most. Okay, they're trying to test that theory, though. The Numbing Gust keeps activating as he keeps banishing the last of Core's exiles. Gareth. Off the wall. And we know 1 score is all that it would take for Core, because we have already seen Phaler's rekindling. We've not yet confirmed as to whether Core has that. So it might be possible for Phaler to finish this with 1 score. It might require 2.
A rude predicament for the Pyre hearts.
And that Numbing Gust has been very effective, because it's not the first time Phaler has missed out on a Jody score because of the Numbing Gust. However, on this occasion, surely he's close enough to make it in. And okay, it is 10 rekindling. So, sudden death match in that case. 10 Pyre life apiece. 1 score for either player would finish it. Who will it be? Well, Phaler is down 1 Jodariel because she plunged without prayer bead. So advantage Core in that sense. Can Phaler find a way to overcome that deficit? Does have a very dangerous portal, but at the moment it's just Manly back. Oh, and through the portal, Phaler goes for the winning plunge.
GG.
The fate prevails.
Good game.
GG.
Perhaps a stroke of fortune ought to be thanked.
Well played, you
The
two.
rite is complete.
All right, now let's head on back.
My sap was utterly useless.
A sap who can't cast.
Mostly left side, but couldn't cast.
Oh, man.
Rip.
All right, well, we'll turn Customize back on, but let us know if there is anything we'd like to see for this next one. If not, then of course we'll just have the players take their preferred teams. But that's up to you. That's true. To be fair, Numbing Gust was incredibly effective. Yeah, JC, if you'd like to get in, you're welcome to. I think Core was saying earlier that he would be open to swapping out. We just didn't have anyone at the time who was ready to take Core's spot. At work? Oof. Alright, no worries. No worries. In that case, looks like it will remain Phaler and Core. Yeah, get well soon. don't know the details, but I don't need to. I'm not sure if that's a metaphorical wounded as in wounded pride or a physical wounded. But
You
alas.
didn't do great at the newbie night.
Okay, well, no worries. Everyone starts off somewhere, right? And just by being here, you can learn more. iRotor's available for just a few games, but can't play for long. Well, we could get you in. We could still get you in then. What if we do that? Core, you want to swap out and we can get iRotor and Phaler in for a few matches, and maybe we'll finish with that?
Yeah, sure.
Alright, well thanks for stopping by, Core. Good to have you as always.
GG's, everyone.
GG's. Alright, well let me get an invite here for iRotor. There we are. And in that case, let us know, assuming we can get iRotor in here, if there's anything we'd like to see between Phaler and iRotor. And if one of you could just confirm, is Phaler still player 1? Did everything switch around?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Alright then, let me just set you up here, iRotor.
At this point, just assume you're player 3 by default, and your inputs change random lines in the code.
Yup. Assume chaos. Okay, so yeah, let us know if there is anything we'd like to see between Phaler and iRotor. Obviously, Phaler's been going for a few matches now, but iRotor, this will be his first match of the night, so perhaps we give him a little bit of a warm-up, although he says he's might be only good for a few matches, so, you know, if we do have anything in particular we would like to see, then we don't have a lot of time to make that happen, so take that however you will. Maybe we keep the first one simple, second one we go crazy, third one Liberation Rite. How's that sound? I guess that makes this the warm-up. This one will be tame. Theoretically.
The fate
Well, it's at the book.
shall confront the withdrawn. Welcome. Who shall conduct the rites?
And perhaps it's no surprise to see Phaler breaking out the Titan Tooth Cur in the first spot with Rookie. And Titan Tooth on Hamatha in the first spot for iRotor. Webbed Lanthorn on Raji, second choice for Phaler. You saw the Cur in the first spot. You thought there was a chance it'd be triple Cur, but obviously that will not be the case this time round. Is it bad that I may have only just noticed for the first time that while we're on this loading or selection screen here, that you can still hear the sound effects of the flapping wings of Hamatha that iRotor took with his first selection? It's fairly quiet as he goes with a quick throwing, what was that, crone? Also may have something to do with how, 90% of the time I cannot hear anything out of my right ear from my headphones, which might have something to do with it. As we will get double harp here, as it's a speedy Zaxion in the last spot for Iroder. There is the double Titan Tooth, so we will see a lot of stuns in this match, one would assume. As Iroder gets to start with a harp push to set up a 20 damage plunge. But no prayer beads, so that means less defenders and more room for Phaler to plunge in there for 20 with one of his curves, but no prayer beads on Rookie, so now he's gone for this round. That means more space for Iroder to maneuver around, but not quite enough to make it in there. Forfeit, though, able to plunge for 25. Now she's out for this round. Titan Tooth stuns Phaler, which means more time for Iroder to plunge here for 20. And oh, Crone salute. So Phaler, defenseless here. And with that Crone throw, drop down to just 5 fire life. So 1 score, surely all that Iroder would need here. Double stun from double Titan Tooth. Here comes Iroder, but he's blocked. Second attempt, and he finishes the job.
The withdrawn prevail.
GG.
They vastly outperformed their adversaries. The rite is ended.
All right, well played, you two. Now let's head on back.
Until the next rite.
And assuming that since Iroder said he's good for about 3 games, we just had our warm-up. That last one, presumably, would be our Liberation Rite. So that means this second one, the one we're about to do, is potentially our only chance for any special requests. So let us know if there is anything we'd like to see. This might be our only opportunity. Each team must have a character with less than 3 on one of their stats. I don't even know if that's possible, but this is going in the opposite direction of what Phaler had requested earlier. I don't know. You have a few ways, obviously if Orlek with the Tiny Hope, but there's at least one other way to reduce stats. Is there only one other way? I don't know if that's possible. I don't know. I just threw a random number out there, so don't read into it too much. Alright, but not seeing any requests here. Unless someone actually does want to figure out how to make that random thought that I threw out there work. But barring that, it looks like we will just have the players take their preferred teams here once again. So let's get started.
The fate
When it
shall
is
take on
Phaler's home arena.
withdrawn.
Oh, hold on. We do have an Exiles request. We do have an Exiles request from Anor. What will it be? As I said, the random thought that I threw out there was not really something that I thought through beyond just the quick, well, maybe it's possible to do the opposite of what Phaler had requested earlier, but didn't actually look into the details. Honor the arena. Okay. But imagine that Anor requested talismans instead. Okay. Yes, Anor requested talismans. What are you talking about? Legendary talismans? Okay. Legendary talismans, it seems like. That's all. Okay. Legendary talismans. As we were saying earlier, that Goals Bracer for power casting nomads is very popular. That's what Phaler will lead off with Snadra. Where's Iroder? We'll go Triesta's Plume on Pamitha. I still think that is one of the most underrated talismans. It may not...
Prayer beads, that's why it's so tough, right?
Right. You know, it may not be top tier, and since it's less, there's a very obvious replacement that is much more reliable and can be used on anyone. I mean, I get why it doesn't get used all the time, but still.
Especially, you don't have to be flying while you're scoring. If
Yeah,
you fly
that's
and
true
then
too.
dash, then it's like, if you drop below a certain height, you don't call us flying anymore. So that's bad. Like finicky.
So Phaedra went for the infinite stamina with the Imp legendary talisman on Raji. Now, legendary Bertrude, or legendary Crone talisman for Bertrude, so she can cast through barriers. Nutrition stick for Volfred for the extra blinking distance. And a legendary talisman for Tizo. Once again, infinite stamina in that case for Iroder. Phaedra here. Linking around at least the initial cast. But Iroder has won it back here and almost found a way around the defense. But is now defenseless as Phaedra throws it in for 20 with Snadra. Tamitha, shoulder smashed. Snadra banishes another. And then shoulder smashes the third and final defender.
A weak attempt, and
However,
yes, it hit the mark.
with Stubborn Flame, Phaedra's damage is reduced by 10. So max out at 10 on that Snadra score, but now it's 20 damage coming for Iroder. With a Pamitha plunge there. And I suppose that it was what we were talking about before. Yes, it's possible for Pamitha to get up to 25 damage, but she needs to be flying. It needs to be high enough when she's flying for it to count, and it was only 20 on that occasion. Also didn't come back from banishment like Prayer Beads. Definitely was not flying on that occasion either. So yeah, again, I get it. It's not as reliable as Prayer Beads, but it does have an upside that Prayer Beads doesn't have with the extra damage potentially. And Prayer Beads is really good. So it's not like being slightly worse than Prayer Beads is a terrible thing. So I still think it's kind of underrated.
All of the withdrawn gone.
But all the withdrawn are gone. Does Phaedra have that range? I don't think he does.
Taken.
Snadra through the portal, and no one back defensively, so it's back to being the Snadra show. Throws and scores for 20, leeches back 10 Pyre life for Phaedra as well.
Fire now burns relatively brighter. As per the
Tamitha makes it in for Iroder, that's another 20 damage there. Snadra shoulder smashes the defender, and now there are no defenders, but back to Stubborn Flame, reducing her damage. Fell Swoop, effective there for Iroder. Securing the banishment. Now Snadra has returned, and whoa, talk about effective Fell Swoops. That's everyone down on that occasion, so plenty of time for Pamitha to throw it in there.
didn't see it coming.
Couple banishments, but Snadra still banished herself. Phaedra trying to bulldoze through with Volfred.
Not much force of will.
But the numbing, or rather the numbing gust. No, the Stubborn Flame, I should say, still active there, so reducing Phaedra's damage once again.
What happened there?
Wilfred. Looking to throw, but pushed back and banished before he could do so. Snapra banished as well. Everyone banished, in fact. Wilfred makes his return, though, in time to at least serve as a roadblock for Pamitha. But she finds a way around that roadblock and in for 20. And because that now means that Stubborn Flame is not active, Taylor is back to dealing full damage, but that is still not quite enough for him to be able to finish this with 1 score. Would still require 2. And there is 12 damage on that throw, which means we're tied at 15, which I think is the perfect number for Failure. I think that's the best possible number, except that he had the full 50 rekindling, so even after that score, Failure is now comfortably in the lead. It does mean that Stubborn Flame is active once again, and now Failure could just barely finish this with 1 score if it were a full damage Volfred score. No one else would have enough, though. Snadra, Stubborn Flame, as we see there, Difference Maker, prevents Snadra from having enough damage. So Rotor's still holding on. But she did also leech back 5 Pyre Life, which, given how there's only 5 Pyre Life in total for Rotor, just makes matters a little bit more difficult here. Rotor trying to find a way through, and does. Plunges for 20 here, but again, just not getting that extra little 5 damage and at least chance of coming back, as if Pamitha had prayer beads.
Into the adversary's flame. Struggle all you like, reader.
Everyone down, at least for a moment there, for Rotor, but Tizo comes back in time for potentially a game-saving stop. But that's not really the character that Rotor wants to be on the attack with. Gets shoulder smashed. Gertrude is back. Oh, and Failure nearly with a sap plunge there. Oh, and Rotor unable to make it through the portal in time. Failure gets the banishment
And it is done.
and finishes the job.
The fate prevail.
GG
The
indeed.
scribes themselves surely have taken note. The ceremony is complete.
Well played, you two. Now let's head on back, and assuming that this is the last one you're going to have for the night, Rotor, then I think we might be in line for our liberation right here. Which would, of course, mean no requests for this one. Both players taking their preferred teams to finish things off in style. And since I don't think we have anyone else who's looking to take Rotor's spot once he is done, I think that is exactly what we are about to do here. Core? Core? What did I just say? You know better than that, Core. Did I not just say we're not going to take requests for this one? Core? Somebody wasn't listening. Alright, well, that means we'll be at the Fall of Solium. We'll have the sermon intro on, and we will do the Never to Return version of Player 2, which means the Withdrawn. As I was saying, no requests from chat. Both players will take their preferred teams. It's a request, it just doesn't have to. It's a preference. Core? Core? No. No. You can waste 100 lid coin if you want to. You can just throw it down the drain. You can always do that if you want. Don't act like you weren't given warning, Core. Core wants Fate versus Withdrawn setups, as in like an actual authentic Fate team versus an authentic Withdrawn team. Or do you just mean the Triumvirates themselves? Because we can certainly give you the Triumvirates themselves. That much can be arranged. Just the name and the color scheme of the Fates and of the Withdrawn. I cannot enforce anything else. Not for the Liberation Rite. It's just a suggestion. Alright, well. Let's get started with this liberation rite. You could have done this in the previous one, Core. I told you that was your last chance for a request.
Stand forth, exiles. You are gathered at the fall of Solium. Have you the fortitude required to prevail? Try not to let the pressure get to you. The Fate, stand ready. The withdrawn, stand prepared. Now, let us begin.
Alright, so as I was saying, this will be our final rite of the night, our liberation rite, which means no requests from chat. Both players just taking their preferred teams to finish things off in style, and for failure that means a quick throwing Almer. No enforced requests. Core's trying to put an asterisk on that as we see Iroder take a speedy Udmilda.
Exile.
Show me just how quick throwing Almer is done. Well, we shall see. It is Raji in the second spot, so at least thus far, at least Phaler is conforming with the unenforceable suggestion, and it is a second crone for Iroder as well. The speedy Udmilda followed by the quick throwing Porphyr. And is there a demon ever on the Fate as Phaler goes Titan Tooth on Jodariel for the stuns? Is that a possible combination for the Fate? I don't remember. No Dalber, most notably. As it is an Imp in the last spot for Iroder. That's definitely one of the possible withdrawn compositions. But no Almer on the Fate is definitely not. And there it is.
The Fates have proved their worth.
GG.
Sure, I think the
As for
fast
their
crawl
adversaries,
reached last.
They
So I'm not
did
sure what
not.
happened here.
Maybe
What
it
happened?
was changed frame rate to 60,
Liberation rites.
or maybe you were practicing
No,
with
like-
60, or maybe I'm just better. Who knows?
Only let's silence my bad. But
I also got a new controller recently. It's not the one my brother threw into a roll and was cracked and had broken triggers and stuff. Maybe I'm feeling the
Maybe not
effects.
for
Who
that.
knows?
I heard it was
It
good,
is.
but probably does not. And on 6 it definitely
Well, anyways, that was our final ride of the night, our liberation rite. So thank you everybody who
Better
participated
than
in the
I
rites
used to
today.
be
Thank you
core,
everybody
not better than I wrote
who
her.
gave us
I
the
know I'm
request
not.
as well.
You placed higher than me last time.
Yeah, also was quite a long time ago.
Well, that's true enough.
All right. Well, with that being said, I'm
I have
gonna
not gotten
jump
better
out
in
of
those last few
Discord,
years,
but
core.
I will catch you guys later.
I've gotten only worse.
Thanks for
I
the
am
ride.
the Ignarius of Right Club. Yeah, thanks for the rights, GG's. Thanks for hosting. Awesome to have you here,
GGs.
as always, audience and chatting people. GG's all.
All right. I'm gonna kick them out of remote play if they haven't already fled, but they have. They know. They know. They know. Let me just throw on this screen here, but thank you all for watching. As I was saying, that was our final ride of the night, our liberation rite. So thank you everybody who participated in the rites today, and thank you everybody who gave us the requests in chat as well. This was, of course, Pyre Community Rite Night, and if you're interested in getting more involved in multiplayer Pyre, then the best way to do so is by joining the Rite Club Discord server, which you can do by clicking on that link right there. And also, thanks for stopping by, little pupil. Good to see you. But other than that, my name is Lids. I'm hosting these Rite Nights. My streaming schedule is Friday nights, we're doing Mass Effect Andromeda multiplayer. Saturdays, we're doing Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. Sundays, we're obviously doing Pyre multiplayer. Then Lids Vids on YouTube as well, posting the VODs for all those streams, so if you missed anything, you can catch it there as well. Also, you know, we've done various other games on YouTube as well, so you can check that stuff out. But if you haven't done so yet already, of course, you can also hit the follow button to get notification for when I go live. Also follow me on Twitter at LidsVids. I post every when I go live as well. But actually, the best place to stay up to date on all things Lids is by joining my Discord, which you can do by clicking on that link right there. But that's going to be it for me for tonight. So thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the stream. And I'll catch you next time. I've said that exact combination of words many times before, and well, it was not one of my smoother ones, but I have a lot of practice.